What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Taurean Reloaded channel. If you are new, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and have your notifications set to all so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. And be sure to share this content as well as my other content on your various social media platforms. I will greatly appreciate it. So today we will be talking about the actor Austin St. John. Now, if you were from the era that I was when I was born in the late 80s and grew up in the 90s, well, my childhood years in the 90s, then you will be familiar with who this guy is. But if not, you're more so familiar with the role that he played. He played the Red Ranger on Power Rangers. Power Rangers, of course, goes without saying, when you hear those two words together, instant nostalgia should kick in. But he was the original Red Ranger in 1993. I think he only played that role for like 1 or 2 seasons, and then he was swapped out for another actor right around the time or before the first movie came out, which was in 95. But the reason why we're talking about Austin St. John today is because he faces up to 20 years in prison on PPP fraud. Now, I have done several videos about this PPP loan fraud over the last couple of years since the PPP was announced, with COVID and the pandemic and everything like that. So it makes you wonder, what is a person like him? How does he get caught up into this? I have no clue. I'm going to read this article and we're going to find out why. Austin St. John, better known as the original Red Ranger in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, has been arrested with 17 others in an alleged $3.5 million fraud scheme. St. John, whose real name is Jason Lawrence Geiger, was indicted on Thursday, May 12th, and is charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in federal prison. The scheme against the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program was led by Michael Hill and Andrew Morin, the U.S. Attorney Office for the Eastern District of Texas said in a May 18th news release. Hill recruited business owners to submit PPP loan applications, and Morin helped fabricate documentation for the funding, federal officials say. The Paycheck Protection Program was instituted during the COVID-19 pandemic to provide financial assistance to the business adversely affected during the pandemic. The 18 defendants including St. John, fraudulently obtained $3.5 million through at least 16 loans, officials say. They are accused of not using the money for its intended purposes, such as paying their employee salaries. Instead, the defendants typically paid Hill and Moran, transferred money to their personal accounts, and spent the funds on various personal purchases, according to a Department of Justice news release. Court documents show St. John obtained a PPP loan for $225,754 for St. John Enterprises. He sent $22,529 to Hill or Moran and invested $170,000. St. John Enterprises sells non-licensed Power Ranger toys and collectibles. It is operated by St. John, who lives in McKinney, Texas. The former Red Ranger spent 16 years as a paramedic before he retired in 2014, according to a biography on his website, since out the United States. He was scheduled to participate in the Des Moines Con in Iowa on May 21st and 22nd, but canceled due to unforeseen personal obligations. Canceled because you got caught up stealing money. That's what you got caught up with. Unforeseen circumstances. You unforeseen, meaning he probably thought he wasn't going to get caught. But let me continue. He sends his apologies and love to all those that were looking forward to meeting him. Galactic Productions said Austin plans to be here to meet all of his fans in 2023. Now, that's very interesting that he says that he's confident that he's going to beat this. That's that privilege kicking in. Because, a lot of the PPP stories that I've done came from, it was a lot of black people that got caught up in this. And they didn't say, I'm going to see you at the next event. But he's confident that that's going to happen. But upon me reading the end of this article, I scrolled down not too far, and there was another article that came up that was posted the same exact day. And this article reads, Power Rangers Austin St. John says he was duped into alleged WUVIT relief fraud scheme. Now that he's gotten caught up, now he has to point the finger of blame at someone or somebody's to try to remove himself from what he did. No, you knew exactly what you were doing. Those figures that I was reading, that's a lot of money. All of them were 6-figure ranges. I think one was a 5-figure, but the rest were 6. That's a lot of money, and $3.5 million in total. That's a lot of money, and it said between 16 or 17 people. So him saying he got duped into something, I don't believe that. If anything, you allowed yourself to be duped, but to say that you got duped into something or tricked unknowingly, no, we ain't falling for it. But let me go ahead and read this one. Today, in crimes that would be gross but relatively banal, had not a former member of the Power Rangers allegedly committed them. News, Austin St. John, best known for playing the very first Red Ranger on Saban's Entertainment long-running Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, has been arrested this week along with 16 other people on allegations of committing fraud related to government COVID-19 relief funds. And this is per The Hollywood Reporter, which reports that St. John, a martial artist, author, and actor who appeared a number of times throughout the endlessly expanding Power Rangers franchise as his character Jason Lee Scott, was charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud on Tuesday. He's one of the several people who have been alleged to apply for the U.S. government COVID-19 Paycheck Protection Program, meant to help small businesses retain employees during the pandemic lockdowns, on false pretenses, instead using the payments for personal purchases while funneling money to the accused ringleaders of the scheme. The group is accused of defrauding more than $3.5 million from the program. In a post on his Instagram today, representatives for St. John painted him as a victim in this whole conspiracy, writing that Austin St. John is a father, husband, role model, and friend to many. I'm sure many others who committed this can start off just like that as well. The indictment detailed today is populated by a multitude of individuals, the majority of which Austin has no knowledge of and has never met or interacted with. It is our understanding that Austin put his faith, reputation, and finances in the hands of third parties whose goals were self-centered and ultimately manipulated and betrayed his trust. We expect Austin's legal team to successfully defend against these charges and lead to his ultimate exoneration. In addition to his work with the Power Rangers franchise, St. John recently broke into the world of faith-based filmmaking, appearing alongside Stephen Baldwin in 2019's A Walk with Grace. Oh, this just sounds like a pity party that they're trying to throw for him just based on the statement that was released. He wasn't feeling like that when he was getting that money, but now that he's gotten caught up in it and he's been arrested and he could probably face up to 2 decades in federal prison, now they want to throw a pity party behind him as if people are going to feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him. You threw your hat into this ring. You knew what the risk was, and you did it anyway. To say that you were tricked into this, I really don't believe that. That's why they say you always got to read the small print. Because I'm going to tell you this, if he can use this, then that means everybody else could use the same thing as well. Anybody, in my honest opinion, who is involving themselves in these PPP loans, frauds and schemes and scams, they willingly did that. It's just the fact that you got caught and now you need to find a way to point the blame at anywhere else but yourself. No one forced your hand. No one threatened you. No one did any kind of harm to you in order for you to do what you did. You decided that you were going to do this and commit this act. No one else. You are your own agency. And your agency said, I'm going to go ahead and do these PPP loans that I know are not for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. At the end of the day, people like him took money away from people that actually needed it and used it for their own personal gain. And now that you've been caught, now you want to play victim and make it seem like it wasn't your fault. What? Like I said, $3.5 million amongst 16 or 17 people is a lot of money, where you're getting six figures like on a repetitive basis under false pretenses. And the people that's doing this, they know that these so-called businesses, they are alleged to have that has attachment to this money. They know they don't exist. They don't exist. So I don't feel bad for him. Now, whether or not he gets the punishment he deserves, that's another story. And we know how this nation works. But that's really all I have for this. And that's my take.